Hi everyone, this is just a quick introduction to Module 4. You should by now be looking at the assignments in Module 4. Module 4 is the first of two modules that will deal with comparison. So your comparison essay, which is the next major essay assignment, will be due in Module 5. Module 5 is actually open already. You can go take a look at that assignment if you are a student who likes to have a little bit longer to prepare for an essay. You're more than welcome to go look at the essay assignment and start preparation for that. In Module 4, we just learn a little bit about comparison. You will be reading E.B. White's Once More to the Lake, which is a comparison example, and doing some response activities associated with that. So we're working on that personal response and analysis type of skills. You'll also be learning about documentation. This essay, the comparison essay, will be the first one that uses documentation in the class. I think it's actually the only one that uses documentation in the class. So you'll be looking for sources, and you will be using quotes and paraphrases in your essay. So we'll be working on MLA style documentation. In this module, I think you have a quiz, and then the next one we'll be doing some more work with that. And so we'll have some supporting information for you in both of these modules. So make sure that you're starting to work on these assignments. Module 4 is also the midpoint. So there is a midpoint survey that you can take for extra credit if you're looking for a little grade boost. Your narrative essays are all graded, and I'm just going to start working on the cause and effect essays probably next week. You should start seeing feedback on those. I do want to show you how to access essay feedback. I know I posted a grading practices announcement, and I'm hoping you read that, but I do want to show you visually how to access those grades and how to see. With essays, I provide a lot more feedback than just the feedback that you get on regular assignments, which is just in that little comments box. So I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show you in my Comp 2 class, because I didn't have time to go in and submit an essay for your class and then do it's multiple steps in clicking. So I'm just going to show you what I have already. So this is in my Comp 2 classes. The assignments are different. I do want to point out that not all the assignments show up in your My Grades list. If you don't submit something, it might just disappear until I go in and I put a 0 in there because you don't have a submission. So it's really important that you keep track of what assignments you have submitting something to and what you haven't. You can see when you've submitted something, there will be a little yellow dot that says needs grading. Make sure that you double check that. Go into your My Grades list and make sure that the stuff listed on the list here matches that Course at a Glance handout, and that you have seen grades for each one of those. That way you can keep track of your own stuff. I have a lot of students this semester. Obviously, I can't keep track of everyone's submissions. So until I go in and put a 0 in there. So here is an example of this is something I've submitted. There should be a lot more assignments here. I haven't submitted anything for I'm a pretty bad student in this class. So this is my argument essay submission for my Comp 2 class. And once I click on the assignment itself, it will pull up the file that I have submitted. Now, I just submitted something kind of random here. It's not an actual essay, but we'll pretend that it is. So you can see the text of the file that you submitted. Some of you are still submitting things in file types that I just can't read, so I put a 0 in there until you submit something that I can read. So this is an example of what it will look like. You'll have to, I'm just going to scroll over here so you can see what the comments look like. So what I'll do is I'll provide comments. Either I'll highlight something, most of them will be highlighted, highlight something and provide a comment that attaches to it, or there will be just a comment kind of sitting out there if it's a general idea, and I try to explain it then in the comment box as much as possible. I do use, of course, the kind of feedback grading language, so I'll talk about comma splices, sentences, and then I do try to explain that, at least for the first few essays, and run-on sentences, things like that, so that there may be terms that you have to look up in your Rules for Writers textbook. So once you've looked at those inline comments, you can also view the grading rubric. Over here on the side, I provide just kind of general feedback to learner. You'll notice that it'll be similar language for each assignment that you submit, because all I'm doing is telling you to read the comments in the grading rubric for your actual grade. That's because I want to direct you there as opposed to providing general feedback in a bunch of different places. So the rubric is the other important thing I want you to look at. Here is a rubric. This won't match your essay, but it's kind of similar categories that you'll see. So typically they're divided into 5 to maybe 7 categories, and your task would be to look through this. The categories that you are scoring proficient and exemplary in, those are areas where you are doing pretty well. You may have a few things to work on, but overall, in general, you are not struggling. You're meeting the requirements. You're doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing, kind of thing. Maybe look at some ways to get to bump up into that exemplary category if you can. Typically, the grammar, spelling, mechanics area, that is an area where no one will ever score exemplary, because there's always a way that you can improve on the way that you've written your essay. Same thing with style, as they kind of go together. So what you want to be looking for then are the categories where you've scored pretty low. Now here, it's because I didn't include any research, because I didn't actually submit an essay here. This is a big issue, right? And this is the reason why I'm not doing so good on this assignment. So you want to be looking for any category that you have submitted that, or that you scored novice or competent in. Those are the areas that you really want to focus on, making sure that you are improving for the next essay. At the bottom is general feedback to the learner. This is just overall. I usually two parts. This is what you did really well on, and this is what you need to work on. And so you'll kind of see that pattern as you start to read these rubrics. So that's how to view an essay assignment feedback. Other assignments, you probably have noticed that I just give kind of general feedback in that comments box. Typically I don't leave inline comments for anything other than essays, because it just takes me longer to do that for everyone. So I want to make sure that I'm getting stuff graded a little bit faster than that. So this was an introduction to Module 4, as well as information on how to view your feedback on your essays. If you have any questions, of course, you can always email me, and I hope you have a good week.